Oh, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I thought I'd just give you a little guided tour of my Nikon F5 camera. I've had it some time. Bought it new. I can't remember the price, but I think it was rather expensive at the time. But after a lot of saving and soul searching, I decided to treat myself to it. It is one of the last film-based cameras that Nikon produced. I think they're producing the F6. I don't know whether it's still in production, but with the advent of the modern digital cameras, films, I think, is all but finished. The F5 is a professional spec camera, so it has the features that you would expect from a pro spec camera. I brought a lens here that I will demonstrate on the camera later on to give you an idea of the size of the camera with the lens on, but for the minute we put that to one side. Now, just a little walk around the camera. So that's the back. Stating the obvious here, it's the back. It's a removable viewfinder. Interchangeable focusing screens and heads that you can have on the camera as well. A neat little feature on this, as I'm sure as on other cameras, is there's a little iris that shuts down onto the viewfinder there, flicking it backwards and forwards to open up. Basically, it just, if you're doing a timed exposure, it's to stop any light leak getting into the back of the camera on timed exposures. Which is more useful obviously on film as it is on digital. But that's the back. Here it basically has a built-in motor drive on the bottom. With this there's the little window here is to show various settings of the camera. You can have a time and date on there which you can imprint onto the film. This is all changed and set in the settings there. The camera is a DX camera, so the ISO is automatically set by the camera, but with these you can override the ISO. You can do bracket, auto bracketing, and flash, and you can scroll through that menu by using this rocker switch here on the camera there. But it's sort of covered in all the usual sort of things that you'd find on a modern spec camera. I have to admit, some of them I can't remember what they do, as I haven't used a camera for many years, I have to admit. Looking at the side of the camera here, again there, that's an end view, it's not the side, so an end view. It's a fairly wide camera, as you can see. I don't know if I can zoom back a touch and maybe move the camera thing back right there. There you go. Now on there is to remove the battery pack there, or battery compartment, if you like. That's the front view of the camera there. Various sort of settings, a control wheel there, command dial, I don't know what Nikon call them. Your depth of field preview. This one, a little button there, is for removing the lens. This one here is for changing the drive on your lenses, so you can have a continuous focus, single focus, or M for manual, which basically override the drive from the camera, enable you to manually focus the lens. Looking again this side, on the end here, there's an on and off button here and a shutter release button here, and that is if you want to use it in portrait format as opposed to landscape, because the buttons will come to hand a lot easier. And then just looking on the top of the camera there, again very modern sort of setup, the on and off button and a light there. That changes your exposure, and you can scroll through your mode using the front and rear thumb wheels. You can scroll through your mode, and that is a plus and minus. You can add a couple of stops, overexposure, underexposure, using the wheel on the camera there. Now this model features a removable focusing, removable head and focusing screen, viewfinder head. They are rather difficult to remove. I'll try and demonstrate one-handed here, but basically you push that tab in there using your thumbnail right in as far as you can go, and that releases the lock. It's again, as I said, it's very difficult to do it. Let's try that way around, and then it just slides back to you towards you like that, and then you can remove. Let's just push the camera out of the way there, and that is your focusing screen and your head in there, and the mirror and the prism on the bottom there. But you can get different types of these that does different jobs, but I think this one is the standard one, which gives you your metering patterns here, which we've got on here. It's set in the matrix metering mode. You've got the center weighted and the spot meter in there, and then that's your plus and minus, so you can change the focus on the screen there if you're wearing spectacles and things like that. And obviously here is your hot shoe for your flash. So that's the top, that's the head there, and then in here, that's the inside of the camera there. Now that's your focusing screen there. Now they are removable, but I'm not going to demonstrate that because I don't want to get sort of greasy fingerprints over it. But you can have various screens for them with grid on them and various other sort of setups. Again, I can't remember exactly which ones they do, but depending on the sort of photography that you do, you can change the head. You can even have a right angle finder, so you can look down from the top from the camera. It all really depends on the photography you use it for. So I'm just going to slide the head back on. Again, you place it in there, just slide it, and you get a very positive click, and the head's on. Now looking at the top plate here, you have your drive settings down in here, down in there, so you can have single, continuous L, which is continuous low, and then you can have continuous high speed there, and just basically just pressing the little button down here and sliding it around for the various settings, or single there. Obviously, being a film camera, this is your rewind crank for the film camera, which is basically the same on all film cameras there. You just pop up the thing to rewind it, and to open the back, I don't know if you can see on the front there is a little spring-loaded pin or spring-loaded lever that you just move forward. So you have to do it facing away from like this, but you basically push the lever that way, and it's a bit of a fiddle, but you pop the top up and then just flip the back open like that. And there is the back of the camera, the film chamber. Pretty much universal to all cameras these days, or modern film cameras I should say. Your DX pins in there, is obviously your shutter and your take-up spool there, and your pressure plate for your camera along here. And I believe you can get different backs for these, including a bolt back and a data back, which imprints more information on the camera. If you was to buy one of these second hand, one of the things you want to check is the gaskets around here for ceiling light, and also along here any sort of scratches or marks on here would show signs of wear on the film gate itself, and around there any signs of wear. You know, obviously if you're buying second hand, you pay accordingly. This one's not for sale, in case anybody would like to buy it. It's not for sale. It's one of my more prized possessions. Just snap the back shut and then pop that down, and there you go. Now if you want to remove the batteries on this one, it's a matter of on the end here, this little thing, you flip the blade up, for want of a better word, turn it anti-clockwise, and you can slide out the battery holder there. Just place the camera down in there. The battery holder basically is a plastic affair, probably very similar to all sorts of cameras in its way it's done. 4 AAs this side, 4 AAs that side, so obviously 8 AA batteries in total, which again will add to the weight of the camera. You can use rechargeable batteries in this one. I haven't done so myself. I tend to stick to the normal alkaline batteries, but again, that just slides in there and just turn that clockwise now until it locks the camera. Locks it all up, and again, that's the front. If you were to buy one of these second hand, if you're looking out for one of the second hand, obviously any marks and bumps around the bodies and corner, it shows signs of wear, scratches, something like that, obviously you pay accordingly. This one's had very little use. As you can see, there's very few marks on the camera. In fact, I don't think there's any marks on the camera there. It's in mint condition, but I have used it, but not a great deal, because I'm now digital. So that's the camera. I'm not sure what prices you pay second hand for them, but I would certainly recommend it. The top view there, just going out that, it's very similar to a modern digital camera now, with your LCD display, and that will display the mode that you got the camera in. It'll be film, you know, how much film you've got left, or maybe used, I can't remember, and the various modes that the camera's set up to, for, you know, for whatever you're going to use it for. Again, you know, it's pretty generic to all modern SLRs, digital and film based cameras. They seem to all sport the same amount of settings, albeit they do it in a different way round. Whether it be Canon or Nikon, they all end at the same results, but they might achieve it in different ways. But there's the camera. As you can see, it's quite a large piece of equipment there. I just turn it around and have a look. One thing I will point out is this is the original F5 strap. If I turn it around so you can read it up the right way, it's the original F5 strap there, which is quite unusual because it's a very narrow strap and isn't very comfortable when you're with a large lens on. It isn't very comfortable, and it can tend to cut into your shoulders. So a lot of people that owned F5s actually replace the strap with a wider strap to make it more comfortable, but invariably the original strap then gets misplaced and lost, which is a shame really, because although it is not that comfortable, it is part of the camera, and I have certainly persevered with it, and certainly would, if I took it off, I would make sure I placed it in somewhere safe to obviously be able to use it again. So just a look around the camera there again. As I said, it's a fairly large piece of equipment. It comes to the hand very comfortably. It fits, you know, very comfortably in the hand. It's all well shaped there, you know, and works a treat. It's a really nice piece of equipment, and if you're looking at one for second hand, I would certainly recommend buying one. So I'll just move on to this lens a minute. I'll just put the camera to one side there a minute without trying to knock on the floor. This lens here, I'm just going to put on the camera to demonstrate. This is a 105mm macro lens. It's an f2.8 lens. It's a G lens. A G, I'm not sure. I think it stands for Gaudied. It's got no aperture ring, so if you're going to couple it with a camera, you must make sure that the camera can adjust the aperture within the body. But again, it's a very nice lens. But I'm just going to demonstrate onto the camera. So obviously you take the lens cap off there, the body cap, I should say, with the camera there. Again, it's the standard or the original body cap. Just pop that off, put it to one side, don't lose it. Line up. You can see on the thing there's a white dot on the body. Line them up and then turn it to get the positive click, and you become now sporting a nice lens. It's very difficult to get it in view there, but that's the camera with the lens on that way round. So it becomes quite heavy now and quite bulky there, as you can see there. But it's certainly adds to its appearance, obviously there. This piece here, this is just basically a lens hood. which removes to show the lens more. It's a sort of Nikon way of doing it. That obviously goes onto there, locks into place to give you your lens hood that way, and it gets stored on there. Nikon actually supply lens hoods with their lenses, and in most cases a decent bag to put your lens in. So as you can see, it now becomes a rather large, I just thought there you can see it's a rather large piece of kit there. I'm just going to remove the lens now again. So again, on the here there's your lens release button up in there, you can see it, and my thumb is there up in there, or my finger now. You just basically push that in and rotate the lens clockwise as you're looking at the camera, or looking through the viewfinder if you like. Remove the lens and place the body cap back on. Just pops on there. Okay, now with modern digital SLRs, removing the lens is a little bit more traumatic, because you can have particles of dust on your viewfinder, which is a shame, and it's a bit of a worry to clean them. But that is the Nikon F5, which F for film, I'm assuming that's what they say, F for film is for 4, I'm not sure. But it's a very nice camera indeed, and while we're hunting one out second hand, if you have an interest in doing some film work, it certainly I find improves your photography a little bit if you use film, because it gives you you have to learn a bit more. None of this deleting. You have to you know, make sure every picture counts. You can't delete it on this, which is a good thing, because it certainly teaches you the fine art of photography there. But that's just, I'll just do one more sort of little demonstration there of the camera, and there, that's the top plate. So bring it a bit closer so you can have a better look at the top plate there. Ooh, that's that way. That's the back. Just turn it round. That's the one end of the camera there, and we'll go round to the front. Nikon there. There you go, and that's the end there. So that's the Nikon F5. It's certainly a wealth worth buying one if you can, as I said earlier. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I do apologise for the perhaps the poor quality of it. I'm not a video photographer, I'm more of a stills photographer, but it's something that I'm learning, so I hope that you'll bear with me, and I shall perhaps be doing some more videos on other cameras that I own, as I currently own an old Nikon D70S, which is the first digital camera, proper digital camera that I own. I've also now own a D300, and I've got myself a little bridge camera as well, Fuji 7000 bridge camera, which again I will do a little video demonstration on, perhaps, if this one works out and people are interested in it. Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.